This week, the World Health Organization called for a temporary moratorium on booster shots in order to allow for coronavirus vaccine doses to actually reach poor countries that have really, at this point, struggled to get their hands on the very vaccine that entitled Americans here have been rejecting. Now, I want you to keep that context in mind because the White House has responded to those calls by the World Health Organization, and here's what they had to say.
We feel that it's a false choice and that we can do both. We announced just yesterday that we hit an important milestone of over 110 million vaccines donated to the world. So we've taken action on the global level far more than any country around the world. We're asking the global community to also step up. We saw some action at the G7, more needs to happen.
No, much more needs to happen because poorer countries, particularly countries in Africa, don't even have 10% of their population vaccinated at this point. Let's go to the second graphic here. As around a dozen rich nations begin rolling out booster shots, and I'll explain the whole booster shot thing in a second. Around 3.5 billion people across the globe have yet to receive a single vaccine dose. Of the 4.31 billion doses administered globally thus far, just 1.1% have gone to people in low-income countries. So what's the booster shot about? The United States hasn't begun implementing booster shots quite yet. Europe has, and the whole idea is a third shot in order to further inoculate people and protect them from getting, dangerously sick or dying from the coronavirus. The White House has decided to purchase more doses of the Pfizer vaccine in order to prepare for booster shots. But the fact of the matter is, if you're fully vaccinated as it is right now, without that booster shot, you're protected. Let's get doses to people across the globe who haven't been able to get vaccinated yet. And I think it's particularly embarrassing that we have a giant portion of this country right now that continues to spread disinformation about the vaccine, continues to pretend like the vaccine isn't important at all. And by the way, that the government has to go out of its way to entice people with prizes and tricks in order to get vaccinated. It's embarrassing. On a global stage, that is embarrassing.
And I use the perfect word there, embarrassing. So there's 10,000 people a day dying from COVID across the world. And we're having to pay people $100 to take it because our citizens are so unintelligent and so monstrous that we say, oh, even though we have the privilege of being able to take a vaccine that the rest of the world's literally dying to get, we're not gonna take it. We're gonna make you give us money. Otherwise, we're not gonna take it. I think you've had a lot of opportunity to get a vaccine already in this country. Tons and tons of opportunity. I think we should pull all the vaccines and give it to the third world. I don't know if people use that term anymore, developing world, it doesn't matter, okay? Just give it to people who are literally dying for it. And so, look guys, you remember the story of the boat that pulled up in Florida during the Holocaust, and America wouldn't take them, and we sent the boat back, and then a third of the people were murdered in the Holocaust that were on that boat. Well, we're letting 10,000 people a day die. A day die. That is a giant, in essence, massacre. Okay. Now it started as something natural, we think, and this disease started spreading. And okay, you can't do anything about a disease. Well, but now that we have a vaccine, there is something you can do about a disease. But we're hoarding in America and not even taking it. So everybody who had a chance to take it already took it. The people left that haven't taken it are the ones who say, I don't want to take it. Okay, good, no problem. Here, because to me, a life in India is worth the same exact life as one in America.
Absolutely.
I know conservatives don't feel that way because they think, no, okay, they're brown, so they're not human. Or, okay, you think, oh, if they're not me, they're not my countrymen, they're not part of my community, I don't care about them. I don't think their life is worth as much as mine. That's the conservative mind.
I don't think they even care about their own countrymen. Let's keep it real.
Yeah, so that's okay though. The rest of us who are decent human beings do care about other people. So look, the booster shot, I'd like a booster shot. I got a J&J one. I'd really like a booster shot. I'd rather have the shots go to other countries because it gives me marginal extra protection when 3.5 billion people have no protection. They haven't even gotten one shot, and one shot would make a giant difference. Only 1.1% got it. Look, guys, since we're in our own bubble in America, we don't see what the rest of the world sees. The rest of the world sees us as monsters who can give them life-saving medication, but instead we're letting 10,000 of them die every single day while we're not even taking it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I do want to show this video. It's from Indonesia, where it's been incredibly difficult to get vaccinated. There was one facility that was vaccinating people, and so a giant crowd gathered right in front of the building. And then once they opened the gates, take a look at what happened. So Indonesia has fully vaccinated some 8%, just 8% of the population, a fraction of the immunizations in many Western nations where rates hover around 50%. But again, you look at the United States, you look at the behavior of people who continue to practice their vaccine hesitancy, if you want to call it that. I think that's a bit of a euphemism, to be quite honest with you. And you also look at the doses that we've wasted. The US, which has wasted around 1 million doses since December, has not yet begun administering boosters. But last week, the Biden administration bought up to an additional 200 million doses of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine to prepare to offer third shots to certain at-risk individuals, including the elderly and the immunocompromised.
So look, I want to give credit for us sending more vaccines than any other country. That's good, that's good. So let's be fair and give the full context. Now, it's very little compared to the amount that is needed, but so go to the core of the issue. The American government holds the patent that allows all of these vaccines to happen. So it's not private corporations, it's me and you. The American taxpayer has that patent. We could release it tomorrow and then they would get the vaccine. Biden did a PR trick in May and said, I'm gonna do support a temporary waiver. Now, was there a waiver of the patents? No, there was no such waiver. It just went to an international organization where the Europeans, now they have, you know how the Democrats have rotating villains?
Yes.
One day it's Manchin, the other day it's Sinema, and the third day it's Coons. And now Western countries have decided to do rotating villains. So now it's Europe that's blocking it while Biden's going, golly gee, I am so concerned about that. We support a waiver. Okay, what have you done to support the waiver? Nothing. Well, you hold the patent. You could just release the patent. Well, I'm not gonna do that because that would hurt the profits of private corporations. But wait a minute, did they spend the money to get the patent? No, we did. Well, I know, but the United States government is owned by corporations. And Joe Biden is owned by corporations. So he works for corporations. He doesn't work for you, and he certainly doesn't work for those poor people in Indonesia. And so I know you could be a humanitarian and actually care about other people, but he's chosen that he doesn't care. Guys, think about how, look guys, we're risking worldwide instability, even if you don't care about other people. When the wealthy countries have 50% vaccination rates, and the poor countries have a 1.1% vaccination rate, the anger builds and builds and builds. And they know we could just give it to them. Look, that thing in Indonesia was counterproductive. Everybody's jammed together, we all see it, right? But why? Why do they do it? Because they're desperate. Because their family members are dying right in front of their eyes. And America looks away indifferently. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.